Listen, I don't know if I need to speak after that introduction. Let me start by thanking President Jackson for all his years of dedication. Thanking the other, I want to thank all the elected officials and dignitaries that are here. Thank the Kemper County branch of the NAACP for inviting me. And thank the many friends that I see in the audience. I thank y'all so much. As the introduction said, I was born and raised in Columbus, Mississippi. I'm a 7th generation Mississippian. And I'll tell you, my first experience with public service was with my mother. My mother ran for Chancery Court judge in my area twice and lost. She was successful on her third attempt. And what I remember about that growing up is, I would write postcards for her to give to voters. I would go knock on doors for her. And, I remember the joy she felt when she won and how much she appreciated public service. So when I graduated from law school, I was blessed to graduate at the top of my class. And I had the opportunity to do a lot of things with my life. But I thought back to what my mom focused on, and I decided that I wanted to move back to Mississippi and give back to the state that I felt like needed my talent the most. And during that same period of time, unbeknownst to me, there was a very beautiful girl that was born and raised in West Point, Mississippi, that was living in New York. And she had graduated from a really, really good school in New York. And at the same time I was deciding to move back to Columbus, she was deciding to move back to West Point for the exact same reason. She wanted to give back to her community and help Mississippi reach its potential. Well, God blessed me to meet that young lady. And her name is Nadia Dale. Was Nadia Dale, now it's Nadia Cologne. And her and I have built our life in Mississippi. We've opened up businesses in Mississippi. My wife was the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club for a long time. We're raising our 2 daughters in Mississippi. And I've been blessed to be elected district attorney in my area. In 2015, I ran against a 27-year incumbent. A lot of people didn't think I could win that race. And I was running on a platform of criminal justice reform. What I said is we needed to prioritize violent crime because violence destroys families and it destroys communities. But we needed to be smart on nonviolent crime. Young people that make a one-time nonviolent mistake did not need to be thrown away. They needed rehabilitation over incarceration. I had the courage to lead with my values and lead with that message. And my community blessed me to be elected district attorney. Now I can tell you in the 10 years that I've been blessed to be DA, I've kept my commitments. I've been tough on violent crime. I've tried over 35 jury trials. I've led the way, myself. And out of those 35 jury trials, I've got guilty verdicts on 33 of them. I got a 94% conviction rate. And all those cases were violent cases, people that committed murder, rape, sexual assault of children, because I understand that violence is something that we have to address because everybody deserves the right to feel safe. Amen. Now, I've also kept my commitment to be smart on nonviolent crime. I have a pretrial diversion program where thousands of young people have gotten the opportunity to go to rehab instead of prison. Where we help them get a GED, where we help them get the support they need to get their life on track. Now, you're never gonna hear about those stories in the paper. You're never gonna hear about those stories. But there are a lot of young people who I bet could turn their life around, and they did not let me down. Now, as my gracious introduction said, in 2022, I was honored to be nominated to be a federal judge. I had bipartisan support. The senior senator, Roger Wicker, supported my nomination. The senior congressman, Benny Thompson, supported my nomination. But there was one person that stopped me. One person. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. She stopped me. Now I have to tell you, as a Christian, I forgive Senator Hyde-Smith for blocking my nomination. I have to. Jesus teaches us that forgiveness is not for the person you're forgiving, it's for yourself. But I also have to tell you that I am my mother's son. And I took a look at Senator Hyde-Smith's record. And I took a look at my record. And I said, mine look a lot better. I took a look at her vision for our state. And I looked at my vision for the state. And I said, mine look a lot better. Because her vision is about distraction and division. My vision is about unity and focus on a better Mississippi. Let's take the tariff policy. Now, if you don't know, tariffs are taxes. When you tell a business, when they import goods to America, that there's a charge on that, that business at some point is going to pass that on to consumers. It is actually an unfair tax on working people. Because if you make $1 million in New York and you make $10,000 in Mississippi, you pay the same tax. So when you give up your voice on tariffs, what you're doing is you're benefiting millionaires and billionaires in New York and California at our expense. Let's talk about our farmers. If you don't know, Mississippi has a lot of soybean farmers who previously sold soybeans to China. Now they sell zero. They sell zero. At the time China stopped buying soybeans from America, guess who they started buying them from? Argentina. And we just gave $40 billion to Argentina. How does that make sense? That's what happens when you put DC politics over what's best for Mississippi farmers and Mississippi consumers. Let's talk about wages. Mississippi doesn't have a minimum wage. We have the federal minimum wage, $7.25. $7.25. We haven't raised the minimum wage in 15 years. Why isn't our senator fighting to raise wages for Mississippi workers? When you don't raise the minimum wage, you're helping millionaires and billionaires in California and New York at the expense of Mississippians. Because the reality is, if you don't make the minimum wage, and most people here probably don't, but when you raise the minimum wage, what you do is you boost all wages. And I can promise you that Mississippi workers deserve a raise. As DA, I can tell you the best way to fight crime is a job and an education. Now, the final point I want to make about the difference between unity and focus and distraction and division is about our hospitals and our health care. Recently, Senator Hyde-Smith voted to give people making over $600,000 a year a 3% permanent tax cut. How many of you all know somebody in Mississippi that makes $600,000 a year? You know anybody? The reality is, those people live in New York, California, and DC. And she paid for that 3% tax cut for billionaires by cutting the health care of 140,000 Mississippians. By putting at least 8 hospitals at risk of closing. So when I tell you that it's a battle between division and distraction and unity and focus, what I mean is it's a battle between somebody who's fighting for the best of Mississippi and somebody who's trying to distract you to talk about anything else except for how they're failing Mississippi. Now, if you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about my mom. Growing up, she would always tell me, never quit. Never quit, Scott, never quit. If it was a school spelling bee, stay up all night, never quit till you know every word, never quit. If it was basketball, shooting free throws, never quit till you make every one, Scott, till you make 10 in a row, never quit, never quit. Even violin, she made me play violin. I hated violin. I have no musical talent whatsoever. But never quit, never quit, never quit. And you know, she told me that so much, it used to get on my nerves, to be honest with you. It used to get on my nerves. But as I got older, I realized what an important value that was that she was passing on to me. And I also thought about the fact that when she was telling me that, she had run for judge twice and lost. And she had the courage of her convictions. She believed in herself enough to run for the third time. So she wasn't just telling me never quit, she was also telling herself. She was living the value that she was passing on. So with my two daughters, I tell them all the time, never quit, never quit. Whatever you do, never quit. Cologne girls, never what? Never quit. We never quit, we never quit, we never quit. The reason I tell you that story is, I truly believe that Cindy Hyde-Smith, she's quit on Mississippi. She's quit. She's focused on DC politics. She's focused on making sure she can keep her job in DC. She's quit on us. And I gotta be honest with you, there's some national Democrats, not all, but there's some national Democrats, they quit on us too. They quit on Mississippi. They don't think we matter. They don't think we can win. But I got news for Cindy Hyde-Smith, and I got news for anybody that don't believe in Mississippi. We will never quit. We will never quit on our state. We will never quit because our children matter. Our schools matter. Our community matter. Our future matter. And together, we're gonna show the country that Mississippi matters. God bless.